Hey, here we are on a Friday. It's episode 188 of Is This Thing Working? And as always, Denise is sitting across from me over here.
I am.
How you doing?
I am awesome today. TGIF, everybody. It's Friday. But you know what we don't do here on Is This Thing Working? We don't stop working any day. We're here every single day trying to get President Trump elected. We are part of the Next Man Up, and we're going to continue to do that every day until November 5th. Even though we're not on the air, we're working off the air, and we're actually going to bring you more and more content. So be tuning in, please, because we're going to go live, and we're all excited about it. We are. Of course, you're not going to be able to see our beautiful faces because I'm still a little chicken, but you're going to see, you're going to hear our voices live, you know, so maybe one of these days I won't be so chicken.
I'm not much to look at. That's why I don't want to put myself on camera.
Oh, hell, I think we're kind of comical ourselves. You might like it. You might laugh. Oh, wow. We got a big show today. As usual, every single day, the news is crazy. But before we get into the weeds, hey, let's listen to Cornbread Hill.
We would like to welcome our new sponsor to Is This Thing Working? So help us welcome Cornbread Hemp. Their mission is to draw on Kentucky's 250-year legacy of growing hemp, as well as the state's unique climate and soil, to manufacture the highest quality cannabis products available in America. They proudly offer full-spectrum, USDA organic CBD products with up to 2 milligrams of THC per serving. Their plants are grown in what's known as the Bluegrass Basin, which produces the highest quality hemp alongside the best bourbon and fastest racehorses. Cornbread Hemp is one of the very few, if not only, CBD brands in America who exclusively use the hemp flower to create their CBD extract, called Flower Only CBD, and they want the world to know.
Please check out Cornbread Hemp by going to cornbreadhemp.com right now for a 30% off your initial purchase of any products on the website. Again, go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code ITTW for this special offer. Remember, you get 30% off, promo code ITTW. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. We really do appreciate that. We want to state that these are our opinions and our assertions.
And if you like our opinions and our assertions, share our show.
And if you don't agree with us or like our opinions and assertions, share the show. Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms.
Also, download that Rumble app so you can follow the show. You'll receive instant notifications when we go live every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
That's right.
So
here we go.
Let's get on with the show. What's the first thing we always do? We always do it. We talk about how regimented we are sometimes, but we always do it. First thing we got to talk about is
Steve Bannon.
Yes, sir.
Of course we do, every single day. 45 days of being a political prisoner. But we have a message for you today from Steve Bannon. So listen to this.
It's very simple. If we do not win, the country is gone. Okay. And we must win. If we do not win, this country is gone. It's very simple. If we do not win, the country is gone. And we must win at the ballot box. And yes, they're going to be trying to steal it like crazy. Are you kidding me? You just got the governor of New York. New York Post got a big story. They're doing everything. I got that. That's why you got to be a poll judge, a poll worker. You are going to save the country. Nobody's coming for us. Nobody's going to come to help you. It's all on your shoulders. I would like to give you a different thing. I'd like to put a wand out there and say it's all going to be fine. It's not. What's going to make it fine is you. Just like through the history of this country. This is nothing. We've been through this kind of turmoil before. This is what the American people are about. The steadfastness, the steely resolve of the American people. The deplorable.
That's it, man.
100%.
There is no cavalry.
The steely resolve of the American people can do this, though.
There is no cavalry coming to save us. We are the cavalry, man.
Yes, we are it.
Yep.
That's all that's out there. And what I found very promising is that Trump hires MAGA back into the fold with Corey Lewandowski. I am extremely satisfied with this. They hired on Alex Brushewicz, and then ALX is in there. And we have MAGA in there. MAGA is who got him elected in 2016.
Exactly.
They have tried very hard to stomp on MAGA and not allow them in there, not allowed a voice. They put Steve Bannon in prison so that, he couldn't be part of the campaign, because I guarantee you by this point,
Oh, yeah.
Steve Bannon would be in there. And that's why he's in prison now. That's exactly right. But you know what? Our loudmouths and other people and other influencers out there have come and they told them, hey, these people need to go. The ones that are in there now. Look what they did to Project 2025. Project 2025 was part of MAGA. And they put their thumb on top of it. And people did not like that whatsoever. But in a surprising development, the Trump campaign has reinstated him. Politico reported Lewandowski, who has remained an informal Trump advisor since his first campaign, is being brought on to advise the campaign's senior leadership team, according to a person familiar with the move and granted anonymity to speak freely. He joined several other former Trump aides who will play similar roles.
Yeah. News outlet also added that those close to the campaign say the new hires are not a shakeup, but rather a buttressing of the campaign's leadership roster in the crucial last few months leading up to the election. So what they're saying right there is the people that are MAGA, the people that helped get him elected the first time, the people that ran his successful campaign the way that they did, those people are back, and that's what we need. That's what we need.
Yes. And it was also reported that 2 former Trump aides claimed that the former president was considering firing his current campaign managers, Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita. However, his social media post praises the pair, seemingly contradicting those claims. What happened was there was a call to fire them both after, like I said, the Project 2025 thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought in MAGA.
Yeah, because we were seeing rumors of that even a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We were seeing rumors then of them talking about firing LaCivita and Susie Wiles.
So this is a really, really good thing. I'm glad to see that they understand who got him to where he's at now. You can't go in there and then all of a sudden think that you're going to play the Rhino game.
You can't go in there and play the Kamala game.
No.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's just not happening. MAGA is who's going to get you elected. And that's what we're here to do every single day, to push back on these people who think that they're going to tell us the way it's going to be. And what I find very interesting is in these primary elections that are going on right now, who is getting elected? MAGA representatives.
You bet.
They are. I mean, look with Royce White. Look what happened there.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I know. It's really awesome. And but we still got a lot of work to do. They're out there, they're working, they're doing the beat every second.
And that's
and that's what we're here to do too. We're
to
here.
encourage you, to encourage you to be informed about these things, about the policies and about the way the country's moving. And also, we encourage you the same as Steve does. Be engaged. If we're not engaged, if we're not poll workers, if we're not poll watchers, if we're not out ballot harvesting, if we're not out registering people to vote, if we're not out doing those things, then we're going to fail. And that's what Steve is doing. He's encouraging you people, and I am too, man. We got to get out. We got to be informed, and we got to be engaged. As Steve would say, be a force multiplier.
That's right. And what is your task and purpose today? That is what we ask every single day.
Exactly those things right there.
Yeah, President Trump, his task and purpose is the economy. He knows how much everyone is hurting out there. And I want to have to give him kudos. When he was president 4 years ago, the economy, and everyone knows it, the economy was just booming. Powerful. It was booming. We had money in our pockets. We had savings. We had good 401ks.
We had low inflation. We had low prices.
Yeah, and he did a great tax cuts even back then.
Yes, he did.
And they expire on 2025, so don't forget that either. But he came out with a plan, and he came out yesterday with it, and it says President Trump's plan to defeat the inflation. Now, that is what we're all worried about. Can he actually get in there and defeat the inflation? Yeah, he can go back to his plan that he did
going to take some
before,
time.
But it is going to take time.
It's
no way it's going to go down immediately.
No, it's going to take some time, and we're going to go through some growing pains to get back to where we were. I mean, if you remember the 70s, man, if you remember the 80s, those were tough economic times on people, man, and it took us a decade or more to bounce back then.
Yeah, it did.
It really did. And so we're looking at that, but we got to get on that road, man.
Yeah, but there's a lot of policies that the Biden and Harris administration put forth that allowed this to happen. For example, he said, well, we're going to unleash American energy. Well, they capped American energy.
Exactly.
They capped him at the kneecaps, man.
And regardless of what Kamala says, she's against fracking. She's against unleashing American energy. She's against pumping oil. She is. Regardless of what she'll try to tell you right now, if you look back at her positions over the last 15 years, you can see where she stands on that issue.
Yeah, and her issue is no fracking. That's what it is. That's what she's all about there.
Mm-hmm.
And then rein in wasteful federal spending. Well, that will be easy if we just cut the budget somewhat.
Yep.
And I'm talking to our House of Representatives right now who are fixing to do this, fixing to pass another CR. Representative Thomas Massey comes out and warns us, and still they're going to pass a CR without not even 1% cut. I don't understand all that. President Trump comes out here and tells you to rein in wasteful federal spending. And are they going to do that? No. But guess what? She was a tie-breaking vote on the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. She signed that one. From the Gateway Pundit, they remind us here that Kamala Harris brags about casting the tie-breaking vote to let the IRS crack down on tipped workers, and the crowd claps like trained seals.
Hilarious. And they did. Knowing better. Because about a week ago, everybody had this video out from back in 2022 when she was the tie-breaking vote and when she sat on the Senate and bragged about it then. She come out and tried to say this about the no tax on tips things, but that was exactly in the Inflation Reduction Act.
Was to tax tips.
Was to tax
even more.
Exactly.
And they hired all these IRS agents. They paid all this money for new IRS agents to come for you, to come for those that are making the little extra buck. How dare you get tipped for your work? Oh no, let's tax that too. Everything that you do, they tax. People used to do these like small stores online. And I know we've started one also. And please look for us on Shopify. Is this thing working? And you can get some of our merchandise there. But we started the store, and immediately they're like asking for tax forms and asking, for how much you've spent over a certain amount. And they immediately want to 1099 you. Like I haven't made a dime yet on this. But all of a sudden,
all you're concerned about is my taxes.
You're concerned about getting taxes from me.
Here you go. This is her talking about being the tie-breaking vote. Check out the crowd reaction to this.
2 years ago, as vice president, I was proud to cast the tie-breaking vote that sent the bill.
Did they have an applaud sign up there or what?
They must have.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. But Kamala Harris has not done one press conference or answered any questions since she stole all of Biden's delegates. It's amazing to me. She can even crow at the fact that people are paying more money and more taxes.
And she's proud to call herself the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act, and it also added, 80,000 new IRS agents to the agency to track tipped workers and $600 Venmo payments. Do you remember that, people?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about Shopify. Same thing about Venmo. They're taxing your Venmo now. Even if you send money or you receive money from somebody else, it's a gift. They're going to tax that. They're taxing everything that you do right now.
In 2022, this is what she said. On this vote, the yeas are 50 and the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the vice president votes in the affirmative and the bill as amended is passed, Harris said on August 7th of 2022.
And you know what happened on August 7th of 2022? Inflation shot up immediately on that day. It's amazing to me that we can even afford to eat right now. And President Trump comes out yesterday, and what I thought was really cool is he made he was at a press conference and he had all this food aligned around him, just so pretty and everything. Listen to what he had to say here. It's a small little clip of President Trump from yesterday.
This is the cost of food. This is the cost of your basics. Every single thing is up. Eggs up 48%. Cookies up 27%. Look at what's going on. Butter up 31%. And this is just the beginning. It's a disaster.
He's right. It's a disaster. If you remember the other day, I talked about me going to the store and basically buying sandwich stuff, and I come out spending $93. Kamala can say all she wants, but she owns every bit of this economy.
This is since Kamala Harris has took office.
Yeah, bacon goods up 27.2%, butter and margins up 31%, flour's up 37.5%.
And like he's always saying, bacon is up 19.5%.
Yeah.
And baby formula is up 30.1%.
Exactly. Bread's up 24.2%. Cookies, baked goods, things like that are up 27%, man.
You know, one thing he mentioned was elementary school lunches. Look how much they're up. 65.5%.
Exactly.
I mean, that is out of control. There is just no way that we can continue on with that. And then he goes on with his plans to defeat inflation. And, you know, he makes great points here, you know, to stop illegal immigration. That is also hurt very much so because, you know, they're paying for...
It stagnates wages and it stagnates the workforce.
Yes, it does.
It does, man.
Rebalance trade. Trade is also one of the reasons we're upside down in trade.
Yep.
And then the destabilizing wars. Now, we're having to pay for... No, we're not having to pay for.
We are
paying for wars that, honestly...
We have no business
paying for or being in or being involved in. So President Trump's plan is for the American people. But Kamala Harris, her plan that she unveils today includes several key proposals aimed at supporting families and addressing economic challenges. The plan features a $6,000 tax credit for newborns in their first year, a significant increase from the current $2,000 credit. Additionally, Harris proposes a $25,000 subsidy for first-time homebuyers, aiming to make home ownership more accessible. The plan also includes measures to cap prescription drug costs, eliminate medical debt for millions of Americans, and introduce a ban on price gouging in the food and grocery sectors. These initiatives are part of a broader effort to provide financial relief and support to middle and low-income families with a focus on addressing the rising costs of living and health care. Whoa, that is her plan. That is what she plans to do. Well, let me tell you, that $6,000 tax credit they're talking about, they stole from J.D. Vance, who just talked about it yesterday. So why do they get to listen to everything that President Trump and J.D. Vance goes out and talks to the media about? Harris refuses to talk to the media and then come out with plan like the tip, like you mentioned, James, and now the tax credit for newborns. What a crazy thing.
Here's the biggest scare out of all of this, though, as she talks about eliminating debt for millions of Americans. But a ban on price gouging for groceries and food. That is a big scare. That's a big red flag right there.
Yes.
That is socialist to the core. That is what we've talked about. That's government taking control of that. And this has been tried before, and the same results have always happened. You end up with poverty. You end up with empty shelves. You end up with starvation. And we don't need that, man. We don't want that.
No, we don't. This is a big red flag. That is something you don't do. I mean, you don't just give people money just to try to, get them
to buy their vote.
To buy their vote. You don't. And this $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers, who's going to pay for that?
Well, exactly. And even if you give them a subsidy and you give them a down payment, they can't afford the house anyway because of the interest rates, man.
That's exactly right. What's that going to do? That's going to do nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I know it's up to you folks to decide on what you think is best for your family, But honestly, I'm just going to tell you, we've already been into 4 years of what it's like with them as head of the country. Hello.
Yep. I get it.
You're not doing so well, and neither am I. And there are so many people that are coming out right now. It is amazing the amount of people that are saying, hey, I can't afford $1,600 in rent.
I'm struggling.
That is,
exactly.
I mean, in New York, that's what a 1-bedroom flat is. $1,600. And these young millennials, young kids, and these even younger than that are just now starting out on their own, and they can't live anywhere. There is nowhere they can live. What are you going to do about rent prices? What are you going to do to try to bring things down?
It's not the government.
It needs to come down so people can afford it.
And the biggest point with that is, with all of what we're talking about here and her economic plans and her plans to control all the pricing, that's not their job. That's not the government's job to do that. That's what free market and capitalism takes care of. Let that take care of itself, and it will. The market will check itself and correct itself if we allow it to. By them coming in and over-regulating and price capping, all this is going to do is lead to starvation, lead to empty shelves, lead to no production. It's going to lead to a collapse of our society. Hey, are you looking for your next unforgettable experience? Discover and attend the hottest events in your area with Eventbrite. From concerts to conferences, festivals to fundraisers, Eventbrite has it all. With our easy-to-use platform, finding and purchasing tickets is a breeze. Plus, with personalized recommendations based on your interest, you'll never miss out on an event that's perfect for you. Whether you're a seasoned event goer or just looking for something new, Eventbrite connects you with experiences that create memories to last a lifetime. Download the app or visit their website today and start exploring your world with Eventbrite.
Please click that link below. You know, yesterday, Representative Clay Higgins broke some really important news about President Trump's attempted assassination. And one of the things that really stuck out was the fact that the FBI released Thomas Crooks' body to be cremated within like 10 days.
After, Clay Higgins, representative from Louisiana, he reveals, and this is in his investigation, that the body of Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was the Trump rally assassin, his body is gone. In Higgins' report, he wrote that on August 5th, when he requested to view the body of Thomas Matthew Crooks, he was told that the body of Crooks was gone. The representative from Louisiana further noted that the FBI released the body to be cremated 10 days after the shooting occurred on July 13th. He said, my efforts to examine Crooks' body on Monday, August 5th, caused quite a stir and revealed a disturbing fact. The FBI released the body for cremation 10 days after J13.
Which never happens, they say. And I find this just, almost to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. I mean, what do you say to the fact that, hey, what are you covering up? Why did you do this?
Exactly. And that's why I'm so frustrated and mad at our House of Representatives that are sitting at home right now, because the moment that this is broke and the moment that this story is broke, in my opinion, you need to bring them people back into a congressional hearing and charge them with perjury, because apparently they're lying to you. They're covering shit up. Bring them back in and investigate them again.
I know. And Higgins also noted in his report that the FBI released the crime scene after 3 days and cleaned up biological evidence from the scene.
Yeah, we've seen the videos of them standing up on the roof with the fire hose, washing everything
We wondered
down.
what they were doing, too. We were like,
Everybody
what the
did.
heck is going on?
Yeah, everybody did.
You know, so this is just amazing. It's breaking news. There's a lot going on. But he says in his little report here, he says the Butler County coroner technically had legal authority over the body, but I spoke with the coroner and he would have never released Crooks' body to the family for cremation or burial without specific permission from the FBI.
There you go, man.
It's out of control. I don't understand why the FBI just can't be transparent. You know, just let us know what's going on. But, you know, folks, this is starting to look like something that was planned. As we read through this article, I'm looking at Gateway Pundit. He comes out with another preliminary report on this attempted assassination of President Trump, the water tower, and the second shooter theory.
A lot of interesting findings in this, too. The report, which was dated August the 12th, addressed to Task Force Chairman Mike Kelly, it exposes a series of alarming actions or inactions by the FBI that appear to undermine the investigation's credibility.
In his report, it highlights several critical observations from his investigation, shedding light on the events leading up to and during the attempted assassination.
Yeah, scroll down. You had the Secret Service radio mishap. He said Butler County runs the radio communications tower out of their 911 call center. This is pretty much the way radio communications work across America in every county, in every state. If their radios are interoperable, a visiting law enforcement agency is assigned a frequency or a channel, so to speak, for their operation while in that county. If the radios are not interoperable with the county communications tower, then the visiting agency is assigned or offered actual radios to use while they're running their operation in the county.
Well, that makes a lot of sense now, seeing as how everyone was talking about, well, they're not on the same channel. They're not on the same channel. And we wondered why they weren't on the same channel, but there was radios.
Yep, and here's the answer as to why. The United States Secret Service did not retrieve the radios that had been set aside for them by Butler County Tactical Command. The radio comms were properly and perfectly arranged during the extensive pre-mission planning, and on July 12th, the Butler County ESU commander personally reminded the Secret Service counter-sniper teams to pick up their assigned radios at the ESU command post, which was positioned according to planning at the Butler Fairgrounds the following morning before 1100 hours, which would be 11 a.m.
And it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. What else do we got that was going on there? We've got the water tower and the second shooter theory. And the article goes on to talk about his findings, Clay Higgins' finding. And the article says that while videos circulating online suggested the presence of a second shooter in this nearby water tower, Higgins says his investigation found no evidence supporting that theory, that the tower was cleared by a drone the morning of J13 and the ladder was never lowered that day, making it highly unlikely that anybody could have accessed that tower.
You know, and I have a question about that.
Okay.
I thought that there was no drones.
Hey, I get you.
That was, cleared to anything. I mean, all of a
you.
sudden now there's a drone.
I get
so,
you.
That's something to look at.
He said that the water tower ladder was never lowered that day. 2 local cops, non-ESU officers, were assigned to be parked in the water tower area as response units for traffic issues or whatever. They did leave that post, but only in the hour prior to the shooting. And that there are videos on the internet showing a dark figure or a shadow on the water tower on J13. He goes, if there had been someone on that tower on J13, it would have had to have been some top shelf operator way beyond anything I've ever actually seen. Regular SWAT operators or snipers would not have the skills and gear to quickly overcome the first 25 feet of the ladder and then climb the remaining 75 feet to the catwalk and then climb the quite intimidating and precarious dome vent across the ladder or access ladder. He goes, it is true that the vent area at the very top of the tower is the only point that would have allowed a clear line of sight to both Trump and Crooks' firing position. I cited out this very fact carefully during my hours on the ground at the Butler Farm AGR water tower crime scene area. And he says he don't believe that it's possible for a second shooter to be there. The only thing that I got to say about that is if you look at the pictures and you see this tower sitting out there, even though it's, 400 yards, maybe the Butler SWAT teams, maybe those guys couldn't make a shot. I'm just talking myself, what I feel like. Maybe they couldn't, but I don't think that was an impossible shot for a highly trained sniper.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, people saw a shadow or someone up there.
Yeah.
It wasn't made up, I don't believe. And I'm sorry, Representative Higgins, but there are people out there that could get up there. Now, what really struck me is the Secret Service left their post within an hour before the shooting.
Those were actually just Butler PD that were out there to manage traffic here. They were parked there in that area, but they were out there to manage the traffic operations.
Oh, okay.
Is what they were out there to do, and they were set there too. But they did leave that post, is what he's trying to say. But he's saying you couldn't make the climb up the tower, up the first 25 foot because there was no access ladder and this and that. And I kind of get that.
At the same time, it's really hard to delve into what's going on. But FBI's unusual procedures, and this is really important because there's so many things that they did do that were very unusual for the FBI. The report also raises concerns about the FBI's handling of the crime scene and evidence. The agency released the crime scene after just 3 days and even cleaned up the biological evidence, like we said, a practice that Higgins describes as unheard of in law enforcement.
What we go back to earlier, I talked about them, we seen the video of them up there on the roof, and everybody's like, what the hell are y'all doing? And they were up there with fire hoses, washing off the entire roof area, man. 3 days after.
But Congressman Higgins' reports highlight several critical areas that remain unexplored, including the origin of Crooks, his training, and the possibility of other conspirators involved in the assassination attempt. Now, there has also been a picture that has come out recently. It shows Crooks holding the rifle along his side. That picture right there, I mean, somebody knew about it. Where'd you get the picture? Somebody knew about Thomas Crooks. They have a picture of him there on the grounds looking up at where he was fixing to go, holding that rifle at his side. So, folks, I'm sorry. This report is damning for the FBI and for the Secret Service. And we need answers, and we need them today. We don't need our congressman to be at home. And we appreciate Representative Higgins doing this and going out there and going above and beyond. We really do appreciate that. But we need something to happen now. President Trump he's doing all he can. He's dangerous. It's dangerous out there for him right now. Yep. And we need to know where this is coming from. If this is something that is happening within our government, and I'm sorry, I feel like a cover-up is happening right now.
Yes, it is. That should just bring us to the most important part, which is come November 6th, there are no do-overs, guys. We're here. We're in this fight.
And we want to let you hear about how important it is for us to continue this fight until November 5th.
We cannot play by conventional rules. You have to go not just think out the box, you have to act outside the box. You have to let Trump be Trump. It's the only way for victory here. If you play by the conventional rules, you're going to lose. Because now they've blocked off all the conventional stuff and they have traps set. These are smart, vicious people. This is about control of the greatest power, not just on Earth today, in the history of the Earth. Why do you spend so much time on this show? This show's not exactly a barrel of laughs. Why do you do this? Why do you do the activities you do? Why do you have the support? Why do people write books about you? Why do they write books about the precinct strategy? Why do they write books about MAGA? Why are you in every article in every paper every couple of days? Why? Because you're a political force. Why? Because you've used your agency. Why? Because you understand to save this republic and save this country, you have to. It's your call.
What's your task and what's your purpose? Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. We couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
And we'll see you next time.
We're out.